Welcome to the Sent from Disneyland podcast.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
If it's your first time joining us, welcome. On this podcast, we'll take a journey into the past and explore Disneyland and Disneyland history with mementos, snapshots, and postcards sent from Disneyland from 1955 to the present. The postcards from this episode will be viewable on Instagram at Sent from Disneyland or on my website, sentfromdisneyland.com. Today I'm starting off by thanking my patrons from patreon.com. You can join in and receive mail from my desk or from my trips to Disneyland. I'm currently working on some new patron benefits. Patrons can sign up for as little as $1 per month. Special thanks to Random Olive, the first patron to this podcast, and to the e-ticket patrons Tania, Eric Daniels, Monica Seitz Vega, Scott Booker, Russ Romano, Michael and Christina Cross, Scott Cagle, Mary Henderson, and Sheila Harry. C-ticket patrons Serious Inquiries Only, Debbie Weinstein, Jennifer Schneep, Grace Coate, Ben and Noel Bruning, and Patty Wolin. B-ticket patrons The Disney Rewind Podcast, and Jeff and Paige Orton. And to the A-ticket patrons Elise Sharp, Zealot Infinity, Alexis Robles, Maggie and Henry Byers, Angelica Nablock, and the All Aboard Podcast. I am your host, your post-host Clocky, and today we have 2 postcards sent from Disneyland. The front of our first postcard has a view of Tomorrowland from the top of the Matterhorn. Below you can see the Skyway Buckets, the Submarine Lagoon, and Monorail Red. You can also see Autopia, the Motorboat Cruise, the Space Bar, and the Rocket Jets. On the back it reads, Tomorrowland, a panoramic view of Disneyland's Tomorrowland as seen from the Matterhorn Mountain. The monorail crosses over the Submarine Lagoon, and the Autopia, Freeway of the Future, can be seen on the right and left. It's postmarked December 30th, 1962, with an Anaheim Fight TB, Support Your TB Association, cancel, and a 3-cent purple Liberty postage stamp, Scott number 1035. I assume they visit the park Thursday, December 27th, through Saturday, December 29th, when park hours were from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. each day. The weather ranged from highs of 66 and 71, and lows down to 35. Park attendance was 34,336 on Thursday, 31,229 on Friday, and 33,321 on Saturday. It's addressed to a Miss Eleanor Sieg of Chicago, Illinois. It reads, Hi there. I know that you'll recognize most of the views, although the monorail to the hotel has been extended. The submarines may not have been here. Over 34,000 have been at the park each day of the 3 during our stay. Beautiful sunny days and cold nights and mornings. Happy New Year. Before we get started with the Disneyland history, I love how this postcard sender knew the park attendants while they were there. Also, the detail of the monorail track extending over to the Disneyland Hotel is one of my favorite details of the 1961 Disneyland map. I hope this postcard sender had time during their visit to check out the newest attraction added to Disneyland. If you had a C ticket in 1962, you could head over to Adventureland for its newest attraction, the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. The Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse attraction was inspired by the 1960 live-action Disney film. Walt Disney's Swiss Family Robinson was based on a novel from 1812 by Johann David Weiss. In the novel, the Swiss family's last name is not mentioned. It's likely that the novel's title refers to the Robinson age genre of fiction. Books centered around characters trapped on a deserted island like Robinson Crusoe. In the novel and the movie, the family is shipwrecked on a deserted island and uses the ship's wreckage to build an elaborate treehouse. The success of the film led Disney Imagineers to build a similar tree and treehouse in Adventureland. The tree was constructed at the end of Adventureland and where New Orleans Square would begin. The tree was made of steel and concrete, but was given a Latin name, Disneyodendron semperflorens grandis, or large, ever-blooming Disney tree. The entire attraction weighed over 150 tons and was 70 feet tall, just 7 feet shorter than Sleeping Beauty Castle, and 80 feet wide. The tree's root structure goes down about 40 feet into the ground. One of the grand features of the treehouse was the water wheel, which moved water throughout the attraction, suggesting that the family had running water in most rooms. Originally, the tree had red leaves, but were changed in the mid-60s to green leaves after the Southern California sun faded the red coloring. The attraction was a walk-through adventure through many rooms of the treehouse, including a parlor or family room with the family's organ playing the Swiska polka. On opening day of the attraction, November 18, 1962, John Mills, who played the father in the movie, and his real-life daughter Haley Mills, known for many Disney roles, were among the first visitors to the treehouse. They walked up the 68 steps to the top of the treehouse. The original treehouse for the movie, built on location in Tobago, was preserved and was a popular destination on the island, until Hurricane Flora destroyed it in 1963. The Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse can also be found at other Disney theme parks, including the Magic Kingdom in Florida, Disneyland Paris, and Tokyo Disneyland. Although I enjoy Enfield Post to look at postage, I also enjoy her Instagram for helpful information about postage. Recently, she posted about how much it will cost to mail a wedding invitation. The information about the cost for sending a wax seal or an oddly shaped envelope was very helpful. You can head over to enfieldpost.com and explore all the different vintage stamps you can use on your next card or letter. That's ENFIELDPOST on Instagram and enfieldpost.com for your wedding and vintage postage needs. Enfield Post is the official postage stamp sponsor of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. The front of our next postcard has the Mark Twain passing by Cascade Peak. You can see guests on all 3 levels of the Mark Twain. On the back it reads, Mark Twain, Rivers of America. Homeward bound from a trip down the frontier rivers of America, the stern-wheeler Mark Twain churns by the thundering falls of Cascade Mountain. It's postmarked July 15, 1979, with a U.S. Postal Service cancel and an 8-cent Eisenhower postage stamp, Scott number 1394. I assume they visit the park on Saturday, July 14th, when park hours were from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. The weather was a high of 81 and a low of 63. It's addressed to a Jim and Edith Herbert of Bloomfield, New Jersey. It reads, Hi, Barbara, Alex, and I had the boys here over the weekend. We had a grand time and the boys had a ball. Took Mom to the doctor's yesterday, heart not as good as it could be. Letter follows. Have a nice vacation. Love, Bunny. Within the first year of the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse being open, the attraction dropped from being a C-ticket attraction to a B-ticket attraction. Then, on March 8, 1999, the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse closed, and was expanded and reopened on June 23, 1999, with a Tarzan theme. The animated feature Tarzan had just been released a week and a half earlier on June 12th. The expansion to the attraction included building a second tree, which split the walkway from Adventureland to New Orleans Square. A wood plank bridge was added to connect the new treehouse entrance to the rest of the attraction. Other changes to the attraction included adding characters from the Tarzan movie and some interactive elements to the rooms. The song Swiska Polka could still be heard on the gramophone in the attraction. The end of the attraction included more interactive activities for guests, including rain sticks and other musical instruments, boxes that would make animal sounds once they were shaken, and a projector showing different slides inspired from the film. The base of the tree was meant to look like the camp set up by Jane, her father, Professor Porter, and Clayton. A second treehouse was built for Hong Kong Disneyland and has its own island. Guests have to take rafts across the river, similar to the way that guests travel to Tom Sawyer Island in Disneyland. Disneyland's Tarzan treehouse closed on September 3, 2021. The additional tree and bridge were removed, and an announcement was just made about the replacement attraction called the Adventureland Treehouse. I'll be curious to see what's kept from the original attraction and what might be added from the Society of Explorers and Adventurers or from the upcoming Disney Plus television show, The Swiss Family Robinson. This incoming postcard is sponsored by the Art Throwdown. Art Throwdown, or ATD, is an online craft hour on Instagram, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Be sure to check out Monday's ATD, which is usually hosted by paper artist Russ Romano. I've seen many amazing art projects, learned about awesome postmarks, postage stamp history, and a lot more on different episodes. It's great to stop in for an hour to watch someone craft or design something unique. Each host brings something a little different to each show. I'll list some of the regular hosts, or you can follow Russ Romano 2021 on Instagram. The front of my incoming postcard has an image of Orangebird dancing on a branch. Above Orangebird in green and orange letters is the word Florida. It's not postmarked, but sent within the last week of October 2022, and has a Nemo and Squirt Forever postage stamp, Scott number 4679. It reads, Hello from Walt Disney World. We are having a wonderful time. We have visited all the parks, gone to Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween Party, and Disney Springs. We even went to meet the Disney horses. Your pal, Julie Taylor. Have a magical day. Thank you so much for the postcard, Julie. I love the amazing vintage Walt Disney World postcards released for Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary and Epcot's 40th anniversary. I had another friend bring me back a full pack of vintage postcards from Florida. I only wish that some of the original opening day postcard images were included. It looks like you had a fun time at the parks. Hope to see you down in Anaheim soon. Thanks for listening to Sent from Disneyland. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends. It would be awesome to share your favorite episode. There are over 100 episodes to choose from. It would also help to leave a 5-star rating and comment at whatever podcast platform you use. If you'd like to support the show financially, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/sentfromdisneyland. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Sent from Disneyland, or on Twitter at Sent from Disney. For questions and comments, send me a postcard addressed to Sent from Disneyland, P.O. Box 44, Hood, California, 95639. This podcast is not affiliated with Disney, the United States Postal Service, or any post office or Disney properties. Opinions expressed on this podcast belong to its host and guests of the Sent from Disneyland podcast.